Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. So I thought that since I have a little bit of time, my house is literally quiet. When I tell you everybody sleep, this is a mother's dream. It's a mother's dream. Everybody sleep. Let me mute this. I'm gonna put my Hey, you're watching from Memphis. Yes. I am going to put it up on my laptop because for some reason I'm noticing that sometimes the comments are missing. I don't know if you guys have been seeing it. There's been a glitch, a slight little glitch. So if you make a comment and I don't respond, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's possible that the app is glitching and I just don't see your comments. But I have some time. I know I have a lot of new people that follow my page. They see me post. They be like, girl, you all over the place. What is going on? Who are you? How I find this page? There are a lot of people trying to figure out how they found my page. Hey, I like that. Let's get wealthy. Well, W-E-L-L. Yes. Because a lot of people out here need to get well. Get healthy. Yes, absolutely. Look, I'm on a computer, so I could click follow from the computer. Gonna follow you, girly. I don't even know if that's a lady. I'm just saying girly. I'm sorry. Oh, but it is. I see the picture. Okay. New Jersey. Okay, Taurus is in the house. Shout out to everybody that has a birthday this month. If you are born in the month of January, happy birthday. That's for everybody in the whole month. Look, you see I'm drinking my water. Get my water in for the day. But I wanted to come on here to kind of just reintroduce myself, especially for people who have found me in the middle of just whatever is going on right now with life. So my name is Renee, but as you can see by this page, I go by Ladybird. I have been going by the name Ladybird for as long as I can remember, before I ever had kids. Affectionately, I was called Bird, so B-Y-R-D. But I kind of added the lady in the front because I was like, I'm a lady. If nothing else, I am a lady. So I added lady in the front, and there you have it. Here I am, Lady Bird. I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit so my head is like under the comments but not cut off. And so, hey Mamie, hey Melissa, hey everyone. So yeah, you read that title right. What did I put? Let me make sure. So yes, if you read that title, HIV, diabetes, disabled twins. And here I am reintroducing myself. For those who already know who I am, hello, welcome back, as always, to my page. During this broadcast, if any of you guys send stars, thank you in advance. I'm not really big, so one thing you're going to learn about me if you're new to my page is that I am not big on saying send stars and things of that nature. Like, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing in advance. Stars is actually new to me and new to my page as of literally right before Halloween. So I'm getting used to it. So if you watch my videos and you never see me or hear me say send stars or things of that nature, just know that I apologize in advance. And typically once I end the live, I will go back and give you guys hearts. Thank you for sending me those stars. My friend whose name I ain't gonna probably ever say right in life. Dijame, that's what I'm saying. Did I say it different yesterday? If you don't type in these comments and tell me how the hell to say your name, I need pronunciations. I need you to give me the breakdown of your name. Because at this point, I'm going to just be going through the motions of your name going to be a new name every day. It is. Okay, T. We just going to call you T. Y'all see that, right? T. That's your name, T. That's all you're going to get from me is tea. Nothing else. Nothing else. I'm just playing. Hey, Brianna. I mean, is it Brianne? Oh, my gosh. I give y'all all these names. Hey, I saw somebody. Hey, Robin. Hey, Sarah. Yes, if you're looking for some Girl Scout cookies, hit that link Sarah posted. She got the cookies for you. Sarah, the only person I let promote on my page. I'm just playing. Sarah get a free pass. She got me really contemplating some truffles right now, though. Do they still sell truffles? Did we establish that the other day? Do Girl Scouts still do truffles? Like, those gotta be. They got to. Them the classic ones, right? Them like the classic. Like, it's like Dunkin' Donut. Or not Dunkin'. Like Krispy Kreme. You know, I can't see going to Krispy Kreme and them not having original glaze. Like, truffles should be, like, literally, like the cookies that never go away from Girl Scouts. Brienne, yep. Hey, Brienne. I got to message you too, Brienne. I'm so sorry. Did I message you back? Look, y'all see, I be all over the place. I be trying to keep up with everything. Everything. Hey, from Baltimore. All right, so let's go ahead and deep dive up into this. So a lot of you guys who are following me actually found me on Kendra G Singles dating show. I'm in the comments. I'm a little petty. I know people don't like me. They don't like when I say certain stuff, and it's okay. Y'all know it's for entertainment purposes only. The show is. People find love on there. There's a lot of different things that have happened on that show. Actually, me and Brianna are going to go live one day, and we're going to talk about some things that was experienced on that show. But yeah. So a lot of you have found me from that show in the comment section. A lot of you guys have been following me from the very beginning. From the moment that I made this page, I believe in 2011. I had to go from my personal page because, look, y'all took over my personal page. I had no personal life. I didn't. I still don't. But my personal page was taken over by the birdies. That's what I call you. The birdies. My followers done had a lot of different names. I done had the birds. I done had my birds in the bird's nest. I done had all kind of stuff. But my followers took over my personal page. And in 2011, I said, you know what? I got to separate the two. Because it had been a thing where I was intertwining my personal life with doing the advocacy stuff. And it was just becoming a lot. I was losing who I was. I was trying to struggle to find me and all at the same time losing me all in the same. And so, yeah. So a lot of you guys have been following me from the very beginning. A lot of you guys I know from high school. Look, I know it's people on here following my page that I know from elementary school. I'm not even going to front. Elementary, middle, high school, college. I have people all over this page that I know from everywhere. Hey, Akish. Akish is one of my people. She get the VIP. Akish is like over there on the personal page a little bit. So yeah, I'm in the Sunshine State too. We talking about Florida, right? Because I heard some people saying California could be like a Sunshine State. No, Florida is the only Sunshine State that I recognize. I'm in North Florida, so I'm not sure where you are. But yes, so get y'all Girl Scout cookies conversation going on in the comments. We're going to get started. So again, my name is Renee. I go by Lady Bird. And yes, HIV is what you saw in the caption to this video. I have been HIV positive for the last 15 years. It's been 15 years as of November 21st of last year, made 15 years that I was diagnosed. Now, how the hell did I get diagnosed? Well, let's see. Long story short, because there are so many videos on here where you can find the long story, I'm going to give you kind of like the detailed fast version. So I need y'all to like buckle up. I need you to buckle up. Put your seatbelts on. Y'all ready to go on this car ride with me real quick? We're going to go on a car ride. I need you to buckle up. I need you to be secure. I am not liable for anybody falling out of the moving vehicle. Hands in the windows at all times, okay? Yes. All right, let's go. Boom. Look, this finna be one of those stories. You know how people be talking about it? Yeah, boom. Boom. I'm about to boom y'all up. I hope that it don't mess my live up, because Listen, Facebook, I promise this is not an act of terrorism. I am just simply telling the story. Y'all know Facebook do the weirdest stuff. So I got to put disclaimers everywhere. Okay? All right. So here it is. It is Labor Day weekend. Is it Labor Day weekend? No. It's the weekend after Labor Day. So this is like right after Labor Day. It's a Labor Day party. Here it is. It is September, let me see, 15, 14, 13. September 13th, 2003. Okay? September 13th, 2003. I'm at a family gathering at a family friend's home. The mother whose home we're at introduces me to her son. Now, at this time, I'm pregnant with my oldest daughter. She's now 19. Okay? I am pregnant with her. We are at this family gathering. It's to celebrate Labor Day. I had never met her son. She says, hey, you know, my son's in town. You should come over here and meet him. He's right over here. She brings him over. You know, this is my son. This is Renee. You know, we cool. I turn around. He like, whoa, you pregnant? Yeah, I'm pregnant. I'm big. Yep, yeah, you know, all that stuff. We're introduced, basically introduced as friends. Nothing more, nothing less. So from that day, we become friends. That Monday, I actually, I'm induced and I'm deliver my daughter September 15th. So moving forward, for at least let's see, so that's 2003, 4, 5. So at least up until 2005, going into 2006, he and I were friends. We were friends for those 2 years. In that 2-year span, I knew of 2 women that he had been dating. We were friends. We would talk on the phone occasionally. Okay, we're going to get some food in a few seconds, okay?
What are we going to get food on?
I'm going to get something. What would you like?
McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's. Do I need to charge your tablet?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have money for it.
You got money?
Yes.
Throw it right here.
You have money, don't you?
Oh, I got money?
Yes.
I got money. Look, Michelle says she wants some McDonald's. Who get her some McDonald's today? This girl says she wants some McDonald's. Well, I guess I'm glad she didn't say Chick-fil-A. She went on the lower end.
What's the lower end?
Sorry, y'all. I got these cords down here. She want me to charge her tablet. Huh?
When do you go?
I'm going to go and get your food in a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right. Go ahead in there and finish doing what you're doing, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. And this is a part of what I do as well. I'm a mom. I'm a mommy. All right. So, I'm plugging up her iPad. All right. So, you know, we're dating. We're moving along. And, hey, Nicole. And so, we somehow, I don't know how we ended up, like, saying, let's have a relationship or date. But somewhere in the middle of 2005, 2006, he starts visiting his mom. He's back and forth. As he's coming from South Carolina here to Florida, we are together. We are meeting up. We're going out on dates. We're, you know, being together. Nobody really knew that we were. It was just a thing of, you know, he came in town. He said, hey, I'm coming in town, you know. And it was that. We would go to the movies, go eat, whatever. And so we're doing that. Then a year goes by. Again, a year goes by. Now here we are. We're actually in a relationship. We're in a relationship. Family knows. And we start having a conversation. Now, again, we have been friends from 2003 all the way up until now. Here it is in 2006. So 3 years. 2 years we were friends. That year of us dating. So I've known him at this point for about 3 years. And we just say, you know what? You know, what are we doing? Like, we actually have that conversation. We have the conversation of, you know, future. What do you want in the future? At this time, I was 24. I was 24 years old at the time. How old was he at the time? I got to do some calculations because, listen, I don't remember. Hold on. I'll tell you guys exactly how old he was. He was older than me. And it's weird because being that he was older than me, a lot of people thought that because he was working at the place he was working, BMW manufacturing in Greer, South Carolina, making $25 an hour at the time. That, oh, she just want this man for his money. It was never about money. I actually genuinely liked him and fell in love with him because of who he was and the person who he presented himself to me as. So let me see. He was born in 1968. And don't be doing no math already. I know some of y'all. Dang, why is my thing? Oh, I need to put my number lock on. Minus at the time. So let's say we got married 2007. All right, so we got married to... Yeah, okay, so... Yeah. So at the time we got married 2007. I was 24, and he was 38, getting ready to turn 39. Again, we met before that. So when I met him in what, 2003? So 4 years. So when I met him, he was like 34. Yeah. So when I met him, he was like 33, 34. So when we got married, I was 24. He was 38, getting ready to turn 39. And when we got married in 2007. So that is the age gap that we had. So people were under the impression I was marrying him for money, things of that nature. It wasn't the case. So moving forward, we talk about it. We say, okay, well, he had been married one time and divorced. And I had never been married. I had my oldest daughter at the time, who was 2-3 years old. He had his son from his previous marriage. She had a daughter from her previous whatever. And then he had an older daughter. And so there were kids involved on both ends. And we just sat down one day and we said, you know what? Let's just get married. I felt like, so honestly, if you guys have been following me for a while, paying attention to how I am, I have always been the type that has always presented myself, not purposefully, but naturally, as someone on a very mature level. So even when I was 24 years old or in my 20s, 21, 22, at a certain age, whatever age I was at the time, I have always presented myself very mature. I knew when I got to a certain age, especially when I had my oldest daughter at 20, I knew that I wanted to be a mother. I knew I wanted to be a wife. I knew I wanted to have what I had seen in my whole life. My grandparents were married until my grandfather passed away. Okay? So I've always seen two-parent households. I've never seen, within my family, I've never seen that broken home. I mean, of course, I've seen friends who were raised by single parents and things of that nature. But my grandmother was married to her husband. They had freaking 14 kids, okay? My mother and my dad had not only known each other since elementary school, grew up in the same neighborhood together, graduated high school together the same year, but have been now married. This year will be 49 years that they've been married. So again, I've seen this two-parent household my whole life. So in my mind, here I am in my early 20s saying, I want this. This is what I want. I want to find the person to be with, to have a family, and to go through this with. And I thought that's who he was. So when we sat down and had these conversations, I'm telling him how I'm feeling about marriage. He's telling me how he feels. He does want to be married again. And he even said it. When I get married again, I don't plan to ever get divorced. If you get mad, you're just going to have to go in the other room and chill out for a little bit. And before we go to bed, we just won't go to bed mad. Like, this was our conversations we were having. And so we made the decision mutually to get married. There was no formal proposal, no get down on one knee, no ring, no stuff like that. It was just a conversation that took place. And we came to a discussion of getting married. I felt like this was my best friend, someone I trusted, someone who I had no clue of what was to come. And hey, everybody who's watching, if you're new to my page, hey, Kirk, and everybody that is tuning in, somebody's in Michigan. If you're first time watching, I'm Lady Bird, and I'm just kind of giving you guys a little reintroduction of myself for the new people watching and trying to figure out really what my page is about and who I am. Hey, Gwendolyn. All right, so here we go into 2007. So December 2006, I made the choice to relocate where he's living. He's living in Spartanburg, South Carolina. We're getting ready to get married. My first time getting married. Never really had lived with anyone else. So my thing was, yeah, I know what my grandparents and all them said and what the Bible said. Because at the time I was deeply rooted into Christianity in the Bible. And, you know, that whole saying, you know, you're not supposed to do this and that before you get married. I just say, you know what? I know what y'all saying, but I ain't never live with nobody. I want to make sure when I'm living with somebody that I'm okay. What if he does something that I just know for the life of me I'm not going to be able to deal with for the rest of my life? What if he got a habit that I just not going to be able to deal with? So I was that type of person who said, you know what? I want to live with him before we get married so that if there are things that I am not familiar with him, at least it's something we can work on prior to that wedding date that we had set. So that's what I did. I relocated to Spartanburg, South Carolina. Hey, you guys. And I got there, got enrolled into the University of South Carolina in upstate. I got me a job working at Home Depot. Yes, I worked at Home Depot. I was a cashier, but I knew my stuff. I could tell you what aisle the nails on. And so, you know, got me a job at Home Depot. I even got a work study job at the daycare at the college. All of that. I'm in school. I'm working. We doing the thing. I'm coming home, cooking. We doing things together. Like we together. We living. And so our wedding date was set for August 4th, 2007. Now, because we were going to be getting married, I'm relocating. This also means that I need to find new things for myself. I need to have a doctor. I need to, you know, X, Y, and Z. I knew that I could not be put on his medical insurance until we were married. So at that time, I was still on my own medical insurance. And so I said, well, here it is probably, I want to say it was maybe May of 2007 at the slightest. At the earliest date I could think. I don't think it was in April. It had to be like May. I know it wasn't June or July. So I'm giving it a date of like May. I made an appointment to his primary care physician. I said, all right, let's go to the doctor. Let's get me established as a patient. While I'm there, I'm going to have my annual everything done. I'm going to have my annual physical done. I'm going to get my annual testing done. STD testing, HIV testing, because I had become a medical assistant in 2004. So 2004, I became a medical assistant, a phlebotomist. So I had been in the medical field, drawing blood, doing needles, all, you know. At any point as a phlebotomist, you could stick yourself. So I made it a habit yearly. And even when I was actively a phlebotomist, I would go probably every 6 months. But once I stopped becoming a phlebotomist, I would still go yearly. And I would go and get tested. So I said, well, let me just do all of this at this appointment. And I said to him, I said, are you okay getting tested for STDs and HIV as well? He said, okay, sure. So we went to his primary care physician. I did my new patient paperwork. He's already an established patient. I go back there, get everything done. We get our testing done. Now, at this time, this is 2007. We don't have quick tests. You go in, you get your blood drawn, you wait 2 weeks. You come back in and you get your results. That is how it worked. 2007. Okay? So 2 weeks later, we go back in. We had already discussed this. And we said when we get our STD results back, we were going to sit in front of the doctor. And we were going to tell each other our results. Whether it's negative, whatever was going on, we were going to sit in front of the doctor and we're going to discuss it and talk about it. And so we sat in front of the doctor. We both tell each other our test results are negative. I tell him my results are negative. He tells me his results are negative. Now, question people always ask me, why did you choose to take a word for it? Why didn't you ask to see any documentation? So here's the thing. Think about this in your own life. You're getting ready to marry someone. If you're at that point of getting ready to marry someone, are you going to be really asking a lot of these things? At that point, I think when you're in the process of getting ready to marry someone, established trust has already been made. Am I correct? Put a 1 in the comments if you feel like, yeah, if you get ready to marry somebody, yeah, it's like you're not really thinking about all that, because if you are at that step to marry someone, that means you already trust this person. So in my mind, I trust him, he's trusting me. Why would I even say that? We're sitting in front of the doctor. I'm trusting him. This is like where my thought process is at. He tells me in front of the doctor he's negative. I tell him in front of the doctor I'm negative. We move along. Our wedding date comes August 4th of 2007. I see all those ones. So yeah, I'm not alone in this thought process. So here it is, 2007, August 4th, we get married. Now, 2 days before that, we get to his mom's house, because the wedding is here in Jacksonville, Florida. Again, we were living in Spartanburg, South Carolina. The wedding is here in Jacksonville, Florida. We are at his mom's house. We pull up. Now, prior to any of this that his mom is going to say to me, there had been no discussion of HIV other than us going and getting tested, and me with under the impression that we're both negative. No discussion had been had. The only thing that his mom had ever said throughout the process of us, going through this whole relationship, marriage, dating thing was, you don't know my son like I know my son. She said that one time we had like a sit down with me, her, my parents, and she just wanted to sit down and talk with us. And she was like, well, you don't know my son like I know my son. That ain't telling me nothing. All that's telling me is that that's your son. You know your son better than anybody else. That's not saying anything. I can sit here right now and tell y'all, listen, I know my 8-year-old better than you know my 8-year-old. You don't know my 8-year-old like I know my 8-year-old. Like, that's nothing. That's saying nothing. And so, right, yes, let's get wealthy. We have been friends for years. Absolutely. So trust had been built before we had even had a relationship. And so 2 days before the wedding, we get to his mom's house. We're in the garage. She pulls me out. She says, can I talk to you for a minute? Okay, sure, cool. And we go out. We standing there. She says to me, has Gregory ever said anything to you about HIV? And I'm looking at her with this look. I know I'm very facial. So I'm probably looking at her like, what the fuck is she talking? And I say, no. Why would he? And I said to her, I said, no. Why would he say anything to me about HIV? That's what I asked her. She said, well, just go and ask him. Go ask him about HIV. Like, I can hear her right now, plain as day, saying this to me. Sorry. My dad called. I had to send his ass the voicemail. Love you, Daddy. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I don't know if my sound went out. My bad. If y'all can hear me, let me know if my sound didn't go out and if you can hear me. So I want to make sure y'all can hear me before I keep talking. Yeah. My dad is just calling to make sure I want him to call me at 5:30 in the morning to wake me up. All right, cool. Y'all can hear me. All right, so like she says this to me. So she's saying, go ask him. Go ask him about HIV. And I'm like, okay, cool. I said, well, you wait right here. I told her that. You wait right here. I go in the house because we right here. We all right here. Like at this point, I feel like this is family at this point. I don't need to do no he say nothing. So I go in the house. I say to him, I say, can you come out here in the garage for a minute? I want to ask you something. So he comes out. His mom's standing there. I bring him out. We standing in his front. We standing there in front of his mama. All three of us are standing here in front of his mom. And, I say to him, I say, well, I brought you out here because your mom told me to ask you about HIV. What is she talking about? And, like, honestly, when y'all hearing me tell y'all this, y'all probably sitting there on the edge of y'all seats like, what the hell? I'm standing here. Imagine me standing in the middle of them And I'm asking this question. Your mom told me to ask you about HIV. What is she talking about? I'm literally not knowing what the hell to expect. He says, I don't know what she talking about. I don't know why she telling you to ask me about HIV. Why you telling her to ask me about HIV? Like he's saying that to his mom. Why you telling her to ask me about HIV? What you talking about? I don't have no HIV. I don't know why she act. Like this is what he's saying. So naturally, when this is unfolding, my thought process now goes to, okay, you know what? He can't have HIV. We went and got tested. We sat in front of the doctor. We both said we was negative. I already know he HIV negative. So, you know, at this point in my thought process, I'm thinking, okay, his mama must be just don't want us to get married. What's done happened? Why she don't want us to get married? Why she just throwing this lie up? This is what I'm thinking. Am I wrong for thinking this, y'all? Am I wrong? Because even now when I hear people and they listen to me tell this story and they say, well, his mama tried to tell you. Sometimes I tell you, I be sitting there like, well, damn. Like, am I wrong for like feeling like maybe she did try to tell me? Like, I feel like there's a way to tell somebody something. Like, don't just sit there and try to subliminally say some shit. Like, if you know something, I feel like it should just come straight out. Like, sometimes I question myself like, dang, am I wrong for feeling like the way I feel about her? Like, I don't know. But I feel like at that moment, I had no doubts because we went and got tested. I knew what I knew at that moment. Okay? I knew what I knew at that moment. I knew that prior to our wedding night, we had never had unprotected sex. I knew for 100% fact that my HIV test results and STD tests were negative. And I assumed his was negative as well. And I asked him in front of her. Okay? I asked him the question she asked me to ask him in front of her. When he said what he said, if she knew her son was HIV positive, what have she should have done, y'all? She should have stopped right there and said, son, or whatever she would have called him at the time, you're lying. You need to tell her that you're HIV positive. You need to tell her before y'all go get married that you're HIV positive. That's what she should have stood right there and said. Not stood there with your mouth closed and not blink, flinch, fart, shrug, elbow, nothing. She ain't do nothing, y'all. Excuse my language, but she ain't do shit. She did nothing. All she did was stood there with her dumb look on her face while he stood there and called her a liar and basically proved her to be a liar in my face. Like, he made it where all I did was look at her as a liar in my face. At that point is when she should have opened her mouth and said what she should have said. I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody call me a liar to my face in front of somebody who they telling I'm a liar to. No. Okay? So, she didn't say nothing. So, we went on and we got married 2 days later. August 4th, 2007 at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Mount Missionary Baptist Church here in Jacksonville, Florida, under the officiant Dr. Reverend David A. Lattimore Jr. We got married. My colors were navy and ivory. My bridesmaids wore navy. The groomsmen had on navy and ivory. I walked down the aisle to Johnny Gill Euphony. My bridesmaids walked down the aisle to a song that my cousin was a member of the group called Pure Soul. They had a song, came out in the 90s called We Must Be in Love. We must be, yeah. We must be in love. That song. Yeah. She was in that group. What else? And if you've listened to my blog, and actually I'm going to pin the link in the comments. So, on my wedding day, there was a lot of stuff that happened on my wedding day that I did not know happened, that the best man actually because he's an amazing podcaster. He does talk radio on NPR radio. He's a very well known. He does a lot of poetry stuff. His name is Al Letson. He actually did a podcast some years ago, and before he did the podcast, he actually came to me and said, I want you to listen to this before I publish it, and because this is about you. And so I'm going to go to it now while we're here talking, and I'm going to post a link in the comments so you guys can go and listen to his account of my wedding day, okay? So not only is it an account of what he witnessed on my wedding day, but also it gives you a history of the relationship between him and my ex-husband at the time, and how the story of him finding out that the guy who he stood up as the best man for gave the woman who he watched walk down the aisle HIV. So you're going to get that part. So you're getting my point of view, but when you listen to this podcast, you're going to hear his side of it, and it's going to put all the pieces of the puzzle of what I'm telling you guys. Because I have a lot of people who say, well, how we know you ain't give it to him? How you know this and this and this? Listen, there were so many people involved in deceiving me. If I must say, there were so many people involved in deceiving me. It's weird that there were so many people involved in deceiving me. Not gonna say he was involved in it, because it actually pissed him off tremendously. But so we got married August 4th, 2007, and we had talked about having a child for our union. I had already had my child. He had kids previous marriage and relationship. He had kids. I had my oldest daughter at the time. We wanted to have a child together. And so our wedding night was the first time that we had ever had unprotected sex. Now, you guys have always heard me talk about, yes, STDs can be transmitted even while using a condom, depending on the STD. HIV is one of those STDs that pretty much a condom is going to protect you from the HIV virus unless the condom breaks or you're exposed through other means, meaning a cut and direct blood-to-blood contact or, things of that nature. Other than that, for the most part, a condom is really going to protect you if you're not becoming in contact with the other person's sexual fluids. And so with him, we had always used condoms prior to our wedding night. So our wedding night was the first time that we ever had sex without a condom. And I found out the end of October going into November of 2007 that I was pregnant. So I did what you're supposed to do. I called my primary care physician, called the insurance company, find out the OBGYNs, set up a new patient appointment for OBGYN. We went in, we had our first appointment. That's typically a family history, getting your information, getting blood, doing your blood work. They're going to be checking your blood for everything known to man, everything. And so then they schedule you for your first official appointment. I have my next appointment scheduled for the Monday after Thanksgiving of 2007. So that year, Thanksgiving fell on November 22nd. So the following Monday would have been my first official appointment. However, throughout my pregnancy, I was having a lot of nausea, vomiting, all pregnancy stuff. Even to this day, 15 years later, I can tell you I've never had a sign, symptom of the HIV virus. I've never been sick from HIV, none of that. So let's get that out there now. But I was getting sick. I could not keep food down. And so I got extremely dehydrated. I was also working a third shift job at the time. I was working at Academy Sports. And I helped open this store. So not only was it a new job, it was a new store. I was actually working shipping and receiving. And I was helping put a brand new store together. So I was doing all of that. We are doing this. And I'm doing it. I'm working. I got dehydrated. So I called my doctor. They said on November 21st, hey, come in. We're going to give you, instead of sending me to the emergency room, they wanted me to come into the office. I got IV fluids. They put me in this little room. So literally, my wall is right here, you guys. So I'm probably up against this little wall in this gray recliner chair, hooked up to an IV pole. The room is not very big at all. It's not. It's just a recliner chair, a chair and a desk for the doctor to sit at, a chair for the person if they come with you, and that's it. The door is like there. And so we are in this room. I'm getting these fluids. They're also giving me nausea medicine in my IV. And I am basically, getting this help. The doctor comes in and she says, is it okay if we ask your husband to step out of the room? I'm not thinking anything of it. I've worked in doctor's offices and medical places. I know that sometimes doctors like to talk to patients by themselves. I'm almost done, okay, baby? Okay. I know that doctors like to talk to the patients by themselves, so I'm not thinking anything of it when the doctor says, hey, can I ask your husband to step out of the room? Just want to talk to you. Cool. He steps out. Doctor comes in. She's like, well, got your labs back, and everything with your labs looks okay except one thing. Now, when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, I had gestational diabetes. Even now, today, 19 years later, I'm still a diabetic. And so I'm thinking she's going to tell me with this pregnancy, my glucose is crazy. I'm going to have to do insulin and all this different stuff. That's what I'm expecting. She says, well, no, actually, your diabetes and your glucose numbers look good. So now I'm like, well, damn, what's wrong? Like, I'm thinking, okay, now is something wrong with the baby? Am I miscarrying? Like, I'm thinking all this stuff. Am I about to miscarry? Am I about to go through whatever? And she says, well, your labs came back and your labs say that you're HIV positive. So on November 21st, 2007, the doctor tells me that I'm HIV positive. Not just any doctor, not a primary care physician, not, a doctor just somewhere random out there. This was the doctor who I was going to see because I was pregnant. And she says, well, do you want me to bring your husband in? Do you want me to tell him? Do you want to tell him? I say, no, you bring him in and you tell him. I say, because if you're telling me that I'm HIV positive, then he is the reason why I am HIV positive. So she brings him in. He sits down and she tells him. Now, a lot of people ask, well, how did you feel when the doctor told you that? Let me tell you, I was numb. When have you ever just felt numb? You ever just got some news or had a situation happen that just made you feel numb? Like if somebody came and just, you wouldn't feel it. Numb, that type of numb. Like, I was numb. So she's sitting there, she's telling me this information, and she tells him. Because in my mind, I'm at that moment when she told me this, I'm like, damn. That's all I could say was damn. At that moment, I knew. And then I kept playing back in my head. I was like, well, wait a minute. We went and got tested. He said he was negative. I'm negative. We in front of the doctor. Like, did he lie in front of the doctor? Like, y'all know them movies. You know how you watch a movie and you at a certain point, like the movie starts you at a certain point, and then all of a sudden it's like, rah, 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 and it take you back and it take you through the story. I was sitting there like, shit, damn. Because in my head, this whole thing is playing back like, wait a minute. So you mean he lied in front of the doctor? Did he know it would, like, all this stuff is just thrown up at me all at once. I'm like, and all he said to the doctor was, we'll get through this. We'll work this out. This is what he said to the doctor, y'all. This is what he told the doctor. Again, just even more confirmation of me sitting right there in that moment. Like, damn, he know. He knew. Bruh, you knew. Like, so we get in the car, we leave. We don't even leave right immediately. We get in the car and we just sitting there. Again, I'm on IV fluids, nausea medicine, all this stuff. We just sit in the car and I'm just like, I don't say nothing. He looking over at me and he was like, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. He said, don't tell anybody, y'all. This man just was told by the doctor, after I was told by the doctor, that his wife was HIV positive. And he said to me, don't tell anybody. Again, even more confirmation that this man just know what. He knew. He knew. He knew. He knew. He knew, y'all. He knew. He knew. And so I didn't. I ain't tell nobody. For weeks, I didn't tell anybody. I continued to go to work. I continued to go with the doctor sent me to. They sent me to an infectious disease doctor. I went. I just went through the motion of whatever was going on at that time. I ain't tell nobody. And then one night I'm driving to work, and I just broke down crying because it just all hit me at one time. Again, I ain't told nobody. I got this all to myself. I'm dealing with the emotions. I'm still going home every night, sleeping in the bed next to this man. I'm still dealing with a lot of stuff. And I ain't told nobody. I broke down. I picked up the phone. I called my mom. And I told my mom what was going on. And she's crying. And I'm just like trying to calm her down. I start crying all over again. It's just all that. And I called my oldest daughter's godmama on the phone. We telling her, because again, now here I am. I'm hours away from my parents. My mom is there. My dad's a truck driver, so he gone. My mama there by herself. She needed somebody to talk to. So at that point, it was just like, you know what? I need a support system. I need people who I can call if I need to, if I'm feeling some kind of way. So I got my mama at this point. I got my daughter's godmother. And these are the two people who I've told. Nobody else. And so one day, you know, at this point, I believe my dad knows, probably my brother. And my mom just says to me, my parents said to me, so what do you feel like doing right now? I didn't know what to do. I had just got married. I'm newly pregnant. Like, I started a new semester of school. Just so much stuff was going on. I'm working this job. And I'm just like, the doctor finally told me, well, you know, you're carrying twins. You have a thin cervix. This is a high-risk pregnancy. You're going to have to really, at some point, you're going to end up on bed rest. So I'm getting all this stuff. All this stuff is being thrown up at me at once. And also this man still in my face. And so I just say, you know what? I quit my job. I did a withdrawal from school. Like, I put myself in a financial debt. I withdrew from school. And for the month of December, I came back to Florida. And I just, you know, I just took some time to myself. Yeah, he called my phone. Yeah, we was talking. Yeah, he was trying to see how I was feeling. But I think that was all because also at the same time, he know that the doctor just told me, he gave me something that he told me he ain't even have. I was asking him questions. Why you ain't tell me? Who gave it to you? When you found out? Like, I couldn't get none of these answers out of this man. He wouldn't tell me nothing. Well, I just don't want to talk about it. I will talk about it later. Like, this is what he's giving me. Nothing. So the whole month of December, all the way through Christmas, I'm just not there. I go back home 2 days after Christmas. At this point, his sister was there visiting for Christmas. I, you know, hayed and buyed her. Didn't really have too much to say. And he had to go back to work New Year's Eve. He had to go back to work. And so he goes back to work. At this point, when I got back there, I honestly, I'm going to tell y'all, I went back with one thing in mind, and that was to leave. While I was here in Florida thinking, I was like, you know what? I could stay with him. Yeah, I'm pregnant. Yeah, we just got married. I could stay with him. You know, at some point through this whole process, he had already said to me, we might as well just, you know, we both got it. You know, no need for the marriage to end. You know, he's basically telling me ain't nobody gonna want me. Might as well stay with him. Nobody's gonna want me. Like, he said this to me at one point. So I did contemplate. I thought about that. Like, you know, okay, maybe I might as well stay with him. No, who gonna want me? Nobody want me. I got a kid. You know, nobody's gonna want me. That's my thought process. Because that's what he told me. But then I woke up, I was like, man, no. I'll be a fool if I stay. I would. And so when I went back 2 days after Christmas, I went back with the thing in mind of, I'm packing all my shit and I'm leaving. And that's what I did. I waited for him to go to work. Because I knew, like, you know people, at this point, I knew this man for years. I knew that if I told him I was going to leave him, he was going to do anything he could to get me to not leave. I knew that. I knew that. And so I said, you know what? And hey, you guys, I'm sorry. I have not said hey to anybody new watching right now. I am going to answer questions. So if you got questions for me and you ask them, if other people have already answered them, shout out to all my followers who know these answers and they answer them in the comments. But if you have a question that has not been answered, please put it in the comments. And I'm going to try my best to answer it. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions if you guys have questions for me, okay? And so, because I know I'm trying to go through this. I'm getting through this for y'all. And I want to just get through it so y'all can get what y'all, you know, get this story. Because a lot of people are really just now learning who I am and what I do and what this page is about. So, yeah. I waited for him to leave. I called my cousin. I called my friend. I say, listen, this is what's going on. At this point, I'm telling them, hey, yeah, this man just gave me HIV. I'm not staying. I got to leave. I got to go. Is there any way you guys could come and help me pack up my stuff? Soon as he left, I called him. I said, he gone. They come over. My friend come over with her dad's pickup truck. My cousin come. She brings her teenage son. We packing up all my stuff. We getting all my stuff. We packing the stuff up. And we getting it out of there. He don't get off work till early in the morning, like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So we packing up all my stuff. Get all my stuff out of there. Whatever I couldn't put in my SUV, I left it at my friend's house. And I went back and got it at a later date. Got a U-Haul, drove back and got it. So that next morning, I didn't leave. I stayed at my friend's house because she was like, I don't want you on the road. I need you to go to sleep and then drive home. So I stayed there. That next morning, I know when he got off work, he was going to walk in that door. He wasn't going to immediately know I was gone till he went probably in the bedroom. So I was like, I know this phone finna ring. And yeah, it rung. And I ain't going to tell y'all. You ever be terrified? Like, I know I done left. I know I wasn't scared of this man. But when that phone rung, my heart started racing. And I ain't answered. So he called back a second time. Second time he called, I said, okay, I know I got to answer this phone. So I answered the phone. And I'm thinking when I answer this phone and this man is going to be hysterical. What's going on? Where you at? You know, what's going on? And he didn't do none of that. He wanted to know. Because let me tell y'all something. When I left with everything that I came into that relationship and that marriage with, okay? Everything. So, when I answered the phone, he said to me, why you ain't leave me something to cook with in the oven? That's what he wanted to know. He wanted to know why I ain't leave him something to cook with in the oven. Because, baby, listen, when I got there, your ass ain't have nothing to cook with in the oven. When I got there, you ain't have your own bedroom suit. When I got there, you ain't have X, Y, and Z. So as I'm leaving, it's coming with me. The pots, the pans, the whole bedroom suit that my mama had purchased as a wedding gift. All the wedding gifts came with me. All of it. Yes, it came with me. I'm leaving you exactly with what you had when I came. December 2006. That's what I did. And right then, I was like, you know what? I made the right choice. At that moment, I knew I made the right choice. Now, I believe, honestly, had he said something other than that to me, my mind probably would have took me on this roller coaster of emotions. Maybe I should go back. Maybe I made a mistake. No. When all he wanted to know was why I ain't leave him something to cook with in the oven, I say, you know what? Yeah, I did right. So, how did he end up in jail? How did he end up in prison for giving me HIV? Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I already told you. Most states have statutes in regards to HIV criminalization. They have statutes for it. In Florida, South Carolina, they both have those laws. We lived in Florida. We lived in South Carolina, in Spartanburg, South Carolina. We got married in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay? So as I moved back here to Jacksonville, my aunt, oh my God. Whoo, I'm sorry, y'all. My aunt just passed. Holy shit. Oh, okay. No crying. Ooh, I forgot. Ooh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. My aunt that just passed Friday. She called me on the phone. And she said, turn on the news. She said, cut the news on. And I turned the news on, y'all. Hold on. Oh, Jesus. I turned the news on. Oh, man, I'm going to need some tissue in a minute. I'm going to be over here looking like Roscoe with a little snotty nose. She said, turn the news on. So, I cut the news on. There's a story on the news of this homosexual couple. The older guy had knowingly infected the younger guy with HIV. And in the state of Florida, that's a sentence of 5 years in prison. And my aunt said, didn't this just happen to you? This is a crime. And she was like, you need to call them and you need to find out what you could do. My aunt helped me, y'all. And so I did that. I called the sheriff's office, and they told me what to do. They say you got to file a police report. You have to I can't even think, y'all. File a police report. They're gonna investigate. I'm sweating. I'm doing everything, y'all. Oh my gosh. And so I do everything they told me to do. I filed a police report. They do the investigations. And the detective calls me back. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, I got hand sanitizer on deck. Hold on. I had to wipe my nose. Y'all can't see me over here with a snotty nose. Look, I got my hand gel, y'all. But so, all right, let's get through this. So I do everything they told me to do, and February the 14th, Valentine's Day of 2008, Valentine's Day 2008. The detective calls me and he says, we've done our investigations. We're ready to arrest him. We are ready to issue a nationwide warrant for his arrest. He was like, we were talking and there is something else we're wondering if we can get you to do. He says, we're in the state of Florida. State of Florida, you need one party consent to record a phone conversation. He's like, would you give us permission to record your phone conversation with him, asking him questions? So my thing is, okay, sure. What questions do you want me to ask him? The detective gives me these different questions. And the detective says, he says, you know, when did he know that he was infected? Does he know who infected him? Why he didn't tell me? Just different questions. Things that I've already asked this man. I've asked this man these questions many times and I could never get an answer. And I told the detective, I said, I don't think he's going to tell me all this. I said, I've been trying. She's like, let's just try. Let's just see if you okay. So I said, okay. I knew he had just got off work. So I said, let me call and kind of wake him up. And so I called, waked him up. And I said, I said, let me answer this. Let me call you right back. Because I wanted him to stay awake. I wanted to make sure he was awake. I wanted him to stay awake. And so I called the detective. I said, okay, he's awake. And the detective has the phone number. And I called, not the detective, I called on three-way. And I told the detective, I say, once I click him on three-way, just make sure you're recording or whatever. And so I do the whole three-way thing. I get him on the phone now. How the hell you going to get somebody to answer these questions? I had no clue. Because like I say, I had tried to get these answers before. I said to him, this just came out the top of my head. I say, well, I have to go see a psychologist. He knew I had been going to a support group. He knew I had been seeing someone. And I told him, I say, well, I have to see a therapist, a psychologist. I say, and they gave me these questions based on what they've already got from my intake. And they want me to know these answers. And I was like, listen, some of this stuff is questions that I ask you and you won't tell me. I say, you keep saying you want me to come home. You want me to say this marriage. I need you to answer these questions. And so he says, anything, whatever you want me to do, I'm going to answer it. I want you to come home. I love you. I don't want a divorce. This. He's telling me all this. And I go through the list of questions. He answers every single freaking question. Y'all, every question. From when did he find out he was diagnosed? Why he ain't, like, all this stuff. Why he ain't tell me, just all these questions. He answering all these questions. And I'm sorry, I had to take some water. And so I clicked him off three-way. I say, you got it? The detective say, oh, I got it. Right behind that, they issued this nationwide warrant for his arrest. Because, again, he's in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida at the time. And they issued that nationwide warrant. And Spartanburg County Police go and they arrest him on that warrant. They go arrest him on that warrant. First time his mama bailed him out, y'all. His mama bailed him out. The same mama who knew her son was HIV positive from the time he was diagnosed, she bonded him out. Now, he got bonded out. At this point, his first arrest was on the news. So he got bonded out. He tried to go to work. That ain't work out so well for him because everybody at the job saw his face on the TV. Then Spartanburg realized, wait a minute. Yeah, she filed these charges in Florida, but he lived here. So South Carolina, the state of South Carolina, they brought charges up on him without me doing anything. They brought charges up. At this point, it's all over the news in the whole state. I was sick of the mama too, child. I was sick of the mama too. And so, yeah, all that. And so they arrest him. First he pled not guilty. He pled not guilty up until they told him that they had done their investigation and they were able to determine that he had been diagnosed since August of 2002. Now, if you've been on this live with me since I started this story, I met him September of 2003. So a year before I ever met him in life, just meeting him as a friend, he knew he was HIV positive. Okay? He knew. His mama knew. His mama husband knew. And as far as I know, the doctor knew. So, remember I told y'all we went and got tested. Now here's the part I want you guys to really pay attention to. Okay? We went in May of 2007 and we got tested. We sat in front of the doctor. We told each other that we were negative because we trusted each other. Again, remember all the ones? Let me do this poll again. So, if you are going to marry someone, that means you trust them, right? So, put a 1 in the comments if that's what that means for you. Like, you, basically, if you say you're going to marry somebody, that means you trust them, right? That's what I'm thinking. So, it didn't seem out of the ordinary for me to say with him, someone who I'm trusting, that, oh, you know, I'm negative, you negative, we in front of the doctor. I ain't thinking about nothing because I trust this person. I've been with this person long enough, obviously, because we saying we get married. It's trust. Trust. Freaking trust. Y'all. And I promise y'all, I'm trying to make sure that I don't give y'all a reason to not have trust for people. Because honestly, my situation can make anybody not trust nobody. But I don't want that for y'all. I don't want you to feel like you can't trust people. Okay? But I trusted him enough that when we sat in front of that doctor and told each other we were negative, that we were both being truthful. Okay, so here's what happened. While I was in one room getting tested, I thought he was in the other room getting tested. He wasn't. He was in the other room with the doctor who he was already an established patient with. His doctor is telling him, you know that you're HIV positive. Does she know you're HIV positive? She doesn't. Well, as your doctor, I can sit with you while you tell her that you're HIV positive, or if you want, I can tell her for you. Now, one thing I need you to understand about doctors, and I want you to also understand that in no way, shape, fashion, or form will I and do I ever fault the doctor. Doctors are bound by Privacy Act and HIPAA laws. They take oaths. Most people in the medical field or who have to hold the Hippocratic oath, they take this oath with the understanding that they have their patient's privacy and trust in their hands. So, understood. Now, as his patient, he trusted his doctor. As the doctor, being a doctor, this is his patient. The doctor is trusting his patient enough that when his patient says to him that, yeah, I'm going to tell her, he's trusting his patient who he's had been a patient for years. He's trusting his patient that when he tells him that he's going to tell me he's HIV positive, that he's going to do that. The doctor is doing what he's supposed to do. Listen, when y'all go to these doctors, there's a privacy form that you guys fill out, a disclosure form. By law, if you do not put anyone's name on this disclosure and confidentiality form, the doctor has no obligation to tell anyone your medical information, whether you sitting in their face or not. This goes for teenagers 16 and older as well. In certain states, if a teenager goes to a clinic and has an STD or have other things going on and they want to get care from the doctor, by law, the doctor cannot disclose unless that teenager says, disclose to my parents. They can't tell the parents nothing. Guess what? The teenager could sit there and the doctor could know that teenager having buck wild bunky sex. And the parent could come in there and say, I need to know if my child having sex. That teenager can tell that parent, if my parent asks this, just tell them I'm not having sex. And the doctor is going to tell the parent, your teenager's not having sex. This is a law, you guys. I need y'all to understand this. This ain't nothing I'm pulling up out of nowhere and making up. This is a 100% law and a fact. So, that doctor was under no obligation to tell me that this man was HIV positive. This man was obligated to tell me he was HIV positive. And he didn't. So, how do I know this is what happened in the other room? Because through the investigation that the police department did, they were able to contact the doctor and they were able to investigate, get the proper documentation they needed to talk to the doctor And the doctor was able to give them this information. So basically, they kind of had to subpoena the doctor for this information, for their investigation. And the doctor let it know. And the doctor did not know. The doctor was under the impression that he told me, because he told the doctor and reassured the doctor that he was going to tell me. So when we sat in front of the doctor and he told me he was negative, I told him I was negative. The doctor knew he wasn't negative, but the doctor couldn't tell me. The doctor couldn't open his mouth. All right, so that's that part. Okay. His mama. We already got that established. His mama knew. Her ass knew. Okay. She knew. She knew from day one. And this is the crazy part about it. Now, granted, she said what she said 2 days before the wedding. But remember, I knew his mama before I knew him. His mama actually introduced me to him. Okay? I knew his mama before him. She introduced me to him. Not only did she do all of that, but throughout the times that I was dating him, all the way up into the marriage, his mom would say, Renee, come over, I cook. Let's go to the restaurant and eat. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. I was always around his mama. At least two to three times a week. Before I moved to South Carolina, I was with his mama somewhere. His mama was with me when I picked out my freaking wedding dress. Okay? She had a hand in me picking out my wedding dress. So there were many opportunities that his mama could have said to me anything. Now, from what she said, he told her that I knew. So here's my thing. If your son told you that I knew he was HIV positive, why didn't you spark up a conversation with me and then you would have found out that I ain't know shit? She could have said, well, Gregor told me that he told you about his status. And I would have looked at her and said, what status? You know, his HIV status. And that's when she would have realized I ain't know. She could have easily done that. She didn't do that, y'all. She could have did that. But she didn't. So, yeah. So, they issued that nationwide warrant for his arrest. He pled guilty. And they let him know, not only do we have it that you were told in August of 2002 that you were HIV positive, but that you also, what else was it? That we have this recorded confession. They let him know they had it. Even to this day, if he and I were to have a cordial conversation about these kids, he gonna be afraid to talk to me. He gonna be scared that I'm recording the conversation. Because of that. I don't care, sir. So yeah. So he was charged and sentenced 5 years maximum sentence in the state of Florida. Now, had South Carolina moved faster than Florida, he would have got 10 years plus a $5,000 fine. But Florida was quick. Florida was not playing no games. They extradited him, brought him to Florida. And so he was released. So this is probably going to answer a lot of your questions. He was released from prison March of 2012. He actually spent 4 years in prison. He got 5 years sentenced. He was in prison. He was in jail for 6 months before he was sentenced. So he got 6 months of time served. And he was released 6 months early on good behavior. So he only spent a total of actually 4 years in prison, in state prison. He was charged with a third-degree felony crime of not disclosing his HIV status to others. That is the charge. Not disclosing his HIV status to others. And there are many states. If you look at my Wednesday live, from last Wednesday, I actually did a live where I talked about some of the states that have laws and that still actually prosecute for this. Not all states, but there are many states that still have laws that are geared toward criminalization of the HIV virus. Do they need to be changed? A lot of them do. So yeah, because there are a lot of people who get caught up in that law who shouldn't be criminalized for it. Okay. What else? So yeah, he spent that time. Now, through my pregnancy, now most of you guys know I have twins. So I ended up having twins. My twins were born when I was only 23 weeks pregnant. So my twins are both disabled. My son has cerebral palsy. His twin she's on the autism spectrum. She has developmental delays as well, with her learning and certain things. They're both are very intelligent, very smart. They're also both very, very, very much HIV negative. So my twins were born HIV negative. Okay. Did my HIV cause me to go into preterm labor? No. Even if I had not ever gotten diagnosed with being HIV positive, I would have still been put on bed rest. My cervix was already still thin. So I had a very high chance of going into preterm labor regardless of being HIV positive at the time. Was I terrified? Absolutely. Definitely very terrified. For sure. Let's see what else. Any questions you guys want to ask me? I know I missed some questions in these comments. I know you guys have been asking and answering stuff for me. So I do have 4 kids. A lot of people always ask how many kids I have. I have 4 kids. My oldest is 19. So she was born before my diagnosis. My twins are about to be 15 on March the 22nd. And I have a girl and a boy twin, Michelle and Micah. So my son is Micah, M-I-C-A-H. A lot of people say Michael. If you say his name incorrectly, it's fine. My own mama did it for his first couple years of life. So it's fine. But it's Micah, like in the Bible, M-I-C-A-H. And Michelle, M-I-C-H-E-L-L-E. And then I have an 8-year-old. So yes, even after my diagnosis, after all of that, I did end up marrying a second time. That's a whole nother story and live in itself. I have an 8-year-old. All of my kids are negative. So yeah. If you guys have questions, ask me now before I get off of here. If you've already asked me and I missed it because I just been running my mouth and trying to get this off, I've been crying. We've been going through the motions this whole live, y'all. I did not expect to be on this live this long. I'm missing Kendra G. Y'all know I love Miss Kendra G. But I'm going to catch the replay. So I'm going to give you guys, if you ask me a question, I didn't answer it and nobody answered it in the comments and you want to answer, I'll give you guys a chance to put the questions in the comments. And I'm going to answer it. And I'm going to also take my laptop off sleep mode so that you guys can also, I can make sure I don't miss any questions. Now, I saw somebody in the comments said something about, girl, you need to do a movie. Listen, I'm going to be real honest with y'all. I've already started a movie script. I haven't ended it. So I have a movie script. I need to end it. I know where I know where I want to end it. I just haven't finished it. It's pretty much about 90% done. I have written and self-published 2 books. So literally this whole story that I just told you guys here on video, I have a book for it. I do. So that book is called Married But It Can Happen. It is basically my autobiography. I wrote this book for the sole purpose of being able to tell my story from me. From me. Think about this. Think about how many people in this world right now have books written about them or detailing parts of their life from other people. I wrote this book because I said when I leave this world and I leave this earth, I want to leave something behind that is not only going to tell my story, but tell it from me and not from anybody else. And that is why I wrote the book. Now, yes, I came on here and I've told you guys the story. I haven't told you guys everything. My story goes so much deeper than what I've given you guys. Like, when I tell you, it goes deeper into the aspect of this man. Not only did he give me HIV, but he also was cheating on me. He was cheating on me while we were together and married. He got another woman pregnant and infected her with HIV as well. Yeah. He also was the cause of another woman who he infected getting murdered by her boyfriend in 2008, Mother's Day 2008. What else? It's a lot. There's a lot in this book. Oh, his sister, he even told his sister about this woman and the baby. His sister didn't know he was HIV positive, but his sister knew about this woman and knew about the baby. So I have the book. So my books are my book has been self-published since September the 3rd, 2013. Let me tell y'all, my favorite, like, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I don't want y'all to ever forget this about Lady Bird. I am a diehard Temptations fan. When I wrote this book, I kept saying, when do I want to release this book? I have all these dates that were like dates that I was like, oh, you know, I got my birthday. Oh, you know, I have my diagnosis day, you know, World AIDS Day, different dates. And I said, what's a date that I can release this book on that speaks about who I am as a person? Not just Lady Bird, this woman, she got HIV, but just as me, a person. And it was the 3rd of September. It was the 3rd of September because I love the Temptations. I love Otis Williams, Melvin Franklin, Eddie Kendricks, David Ruffin, and Paul Williams, y'all. I am a diehard Temptations fan to the core. Okay? I know all the words to the movie. Why y'all always on the road? Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. They coming to see me. You wish you could work it the way I could. All that. I know all the words. Look. I know all the words to the movie. Okay? And so that was the significance of that. I'm about to post a link in the comments and I'm going to pin it. I got so many links I done posted, y'all. I'm going to pin the link. I have 2 books. So I know a lot of you guys who actually follow me have my book already. But I'm about to post the link where you can buy my first book, and I have a teen book. So my first book is Married But It Can Happen. It's my autobiography. And here's the link. Let me pin it up. Sorry, y'all. So that's where you can go. That's like the direct link. It's gonna take you literally to my website, and it's gonna show you both books. And my first book, Married But It Can Happen, is the autobiography. My second book that I have self-published and written is HIV Around Me. Now, this is a book for teenagers. So if you have a teenager who you feel is like, okay, you know, as parents, it's hard to talk about our kids about sex and STDs, HIV, different things like that. So what I did with this teen book, and I had the books right here too. So this is the first book. This is Married But It Can Happen. Okay? This is my first book. Married But It Can Happen. So this book here is the autobiography. What I'm going to do for you, when you purchase this book directly through me, I have copies. I'm going to personalize it and I'm going to sign it. Okay? That's what you get when you purchase directly from me. Now, my books are also on Amazon and everywhere else books are sold. Okay? You can type the title of this book in and it's going to pull up. So this book on my website, this book is $15. So this one is $15. This is my autobiography. And then my teen book is $9.99. So here is the teen book. So the teen book is HIV Around Me. Okay. I did this one exclusively through Amazon. So you're only going to find this one on Amazon. Or from me, I have physical copies of my book. Again, I'm going to sign this book as well. So, again, same thing. And this is a teen book. So I'm going to read you what this teen book says. And this is going to give you kind of an insight into exactly what this teen book is talking about. And thank you guys who have sent stars. If you sent stars in this live video, I promise you, I see it. And I apologize if I haven't acknowledged you. I am very, very bad at this whole stars thing. It's new to me. And I'm trying to get used to it. Thank you, Cherish, so much. I love you back. She's in Sacramento, California. Cherish Proctor. And then who else am I seeing here? Who else? I'm trying to scroll. Babs, thank you so much, you guys. All right, so this is the teen book. So I'm gonna read you what it says. And the teen book is $9.99. And if you order both of them, I ship them both together. So the way I have it on my website, you can put both of them in your shopping cart and check out. It's a flat rate shipping. So it's not like you're going to be paying like it's one price for the shipping. That's it. And I ship it out. And so let me read to you what the teen book says. The teen book says, teenagers are faced with some of the most unbelievable and challenging situations you could ever imagine. Join me as I take you on a journey through the lives of 4 teens as they experience HIV and AIDS in some of the most unexpected ways. So now I'm going to tell you about the stories. Meet a granddaughter who finds out exactly what kind of doctor her nana visits every 3 months. Find out what it means to have true friendship from the star athlete and most popular kid in school. Read about a dad who is torn between friendship, family, and morals. Then lastly, see why blood sometimes is thicker than water, literally. All right? And this book here, I dedicated this book when you get it. I dedicated this book to you. That is what I put. It says, this book is dedicated to you. It's for every teenager and young adult reading this book. Education is the key to success, and knowledge is and will always be powerful. That is what I put here in my book. And I mean that. It really is. That is why I do what I do. I don't get on here and I don't do it for show. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for anything but because I want to make sure that that if I can have a hand in stopping new HIV and STD infections, that I do it. That's why I do this. That's why I get on here. That's why when I first wrote this book, let me tell y'all, I was the worst first author in the world. When I tell y'all, when I wrote this book, my promotion sucked. My promotion for this book sucked bad. It sucked. It really did. It sucked. I did a book signing and afterwards I didn't do anything else. People ask me about the book. Sure, yeah, here's the book. I had copies of it, all that stuff. But this book right here, this book was different. And I'm going to tell you the name of those stories. So I got one story is my Nana. The other story is called That Day with Dad. Those are 2 middle school kind of age stories. The other 2 stories are called Peer Pressure and My Best Friend Jasmine. And yeah, it's here. I gave my, and like, listen, what I wanted to do with this book here, this teen book, is I wanted to really educate our teens and really give them definitions and understanding of some of the things that I talk about, where they can understand it and everything. Like literally, I put these definitions in this book. I define stuff in this book. I try to bring myself down to how would I want to read a book if I was in middle school or if I was in high school. How would, you can see this book is not a very big book. They have a short attention span. They do. At most, this book has about 40 something pages. That's how short I made this book. Because I wanted to make sure when they got it and they started reading, they won't put it down. They're going to read it. So Let me see. I'll post it again in the comments. I did post it. It should be pinned. I know I see a couple people saying they can't see a pinned link. So I'm going to post it again real quick so it can kind of scroll through the comments while you guys are looking. So even if this live ends and you come back, it's going to show all of my comments at the very top and you'll see it there as well. But yeah, so that's what I did with that book. And I'm still writing my third book. Girl, listen, I ain't gonna forget them McDonald's. I do. It's almost 9 o'clock. She can't be eating McDonald's too late. Yeah, I gotta hurry up and go get it. Everybody else done ate and sleep. It's her. I'm gonna see if she'll let me go in the kitchen and get her something. Maybe I could skip McDonald's tonight. I got food in the kitchen. I cooked last night. I got leftovers. So maybe I could slide a little bit of leftovers in there. But yeah. All right, you guys. So let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. I'm gonna scroll back up real fast a little bit. Somebody said September 3rd is their wife's birthday. Oh wow, happy early birthday. Essie. Okay, so I'm scrolling and I'm seeing some comments. And I'm not gonna hold y'all too much longer. So Essie says, did you tell your second husband that you were HIV positive before marriage? Absolutely. Honestly, he knew my status before I even knew him. He was a person who followed my personal page when I was only using that page for talking about my HIV diagnosis and things like that. So he knew my status before he ever approached me about dating and marriage and all that stuff. He knew my status early on. Charlene said contact Tyler Perry. Hey Tyler, holla. Let me see. Somebody said, how did he get it? So he doesn't know who gave it to him. Oh, and my book also talks about some other things. Like a lot of people always ask me, was he bisexual or anything like that? So yeah, I talk about that in the book as well and who I talk to about that. Y'all hear Michelle? You hear? She in there talking to the TV. Oh, Allison, thank you so much. Allison said, thanks for your transparency. Let's see. How do you cope on hard days other than obviously prayer? How do I cope on hard days? Listen, I just move. Sometimes when days get hard, there are nights when I lay in the bed or my alarm goes off at 5:30 in the morning. I'll be like, man, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up out of dress. I don't want to do nothing. There are days when I look at my medicine and say, I don't even want to take this medicine. But I have to. Got to do it. I got to keep moving. I got to keep pushing. Listen, don't y'all be petitioning for Michelle to get on McDonald's, okay? Okay? Do you have a chapter about dating and marrying again? In that book, so in my autobiography, I do talk about dating. Because the way my book ends, it ends at the end of a relationship that I got in after finding out my status. Like, I talk about the first time I ever had sex after my diagnosis. After probably a year or so after my diagnosis. I talk about having sex for the first time. I talk about dating and how this guy put me out his car, y'all. I talk about meeting somebody on online dating. I talk about actually getting pregnant again and having a miscarriage. I talk about a lot of stuff in my book that we haven't even touched on this video. And thank you so much. And do you have any regret marrying him at the time? Hello, Youthful Forward. So, that's a tough one. I'm going to say this. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it now. Never, ever, ever will you ever hear me say that I felt like, or I feel like this man was a bad person. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. There's a difference between being a bad person and making bad choices. I feel like this man has made umpteenth bad choices. Was he bad to me? Like, no, there was never any physical. Let me tell y'all, me and this man ain't never argued. We've never had an argument. Never argued about anything through our relationship or our marriage before me finding out about my diagnosis. Like, literally. I feel like he made bad choices. I feel like as a human being, and the way he treated me as before my diagnosis and before I found out this stuff, I didn't deal with anything with him in that sense. Now, after my diagnosis and me finding out a lot of stuff, then I'm like, damn. Like, yes, I had regrets that popped up. I had feelings and emotions about him. Like, there was a moment in my book when I tell y'all how I felt, how every day I thought about unaliving this man. There were moments that I felt like unaliving this man. And I talk about it in this book. I told him one day, I say, oh, I just thought of a new way to kill you today. You ever just sit there? Like, literally, I would sit there sometimes and look at him like, I could do this. I could do this. I wonder, like, I thought about that. That's what made me say, let me get my ass up out this damn house and leave. That's what made me walk away. When I got to that thought process of feeling like I was going to harm him and potentially put myself in jail, Lord Jesus, if you understood the extremeness of my OCD, I would not survive in jail, prison, anywhere where I can't go and come as I please. I would not live. So trust and believe me when I tell y'all, I thought about the consequences of my actions. I truly thought about the consequences of my actions because I am not equipped for nobody's jail or prison. I ain't taking no shower. I ain't eating no food. I'm not touching nothing. Okay? Not doing it. So I thought before I acted. Absolutely. Thank you, Carissa. Thank you so much. So yeah. Yeah. Whew. Did his mama ever apologize to me? Are there unicorns in the world? Do we got unicorns? Do we got mermaids? Can I fly? Do I got wings and I can fly? No, that lady ain't never apologized to me. I will never hold my breath waiting on that. Ever, ever, ever. All right, I'm scrolling through these comments. I'm going to go back and I'm going to answer some questions too in the comments that I've missed. All right, I'm coming to the most recent comment. How much is the book at the store and what store can I get it from? So, Jennifer Miller, I have physical copies. So, if you go to my website that's in the comments and pinned, I have physical copies. This one is $15. This one is $9.99. I have copies. I do flat rate shipping. I autograph them and ship them directly to you. What you say, baby?
Are you finished yet?
Yep, I'm about to hit the button and be done. Okay?
And then do you go?
Yep. Sure is. Okay?
What about my iPad?
You want your iPad?
Yes.
It should be charged. Here you go. Got it?
You threw it like a football.
Oh, I did. She's so silly. So yeah. But they're also on Amazon. So if you like ebooks, you can go on Amazon and find the ebooks. And if you like, because I know a lot of people do like ebooks too. But physical copies I have. Ebooks are on Amazon. There's on the first book is on all book. Anywhere you can find a book, it's there. The second book is exclusively only on Amazon. So if it's giving you an issue with the shipping, hey twin Bradley. Oh gosh. I don't know. Try to close the browser completely out. So if you have issues with trying to order, try to close your browser like completely out and then try to do it again. Sometimes people have issues because sometimes it's a browser issue. Or if you go to my Ladybird page, like if you go to my page on here, there's a shop button on my page. I have the books connected to my website on my Facebook page. If it's giving you an error that way. Does he have anything to do with the kids? No. He don't. All your children belong to your husband? No. My oldest daughter, her dad is her dad. Her dad actually, and he don't like when I say this, and I don't care that he don't like it. It's the truth. It happened. He know it happened. I got 2 witnesses that stood there when he told me on speakerphone that it happened. So, I mean, hey, my oldest daughter is here because her dad put holes in the condom when we had sex. I only had sex with him one time. He put holes in the condom, and I found out I was pregnant like 2 months later because he called me while I was at work. And my supervisor and my coworker was standing there and heard him tell me that he put holes in the condom and that I'm probably pregnant. I was like, no, you had on the condom, you know, and all that, Come to find out, I was pregnant. So my baby is here because she was that strong one that fought through that little hole and made her way all up and through in my uterus. So that story is in the book too. I put that in there. It's an autobiography, so I give you guys a lot of my life. I give you guys a lot of my life in this book. Not just what we talked about on this live. Let's see. Man, Michelle is waiting for her McDonald's. You love to flip pages? Girl, me too. I gotta finish this other book I got. I got so many goods. Listen, we met Zion Clark. If y'all ever be on, we met Zion Clark and got an autographed book from him. He's the guy, he was born with no legs. He be on there like wrestling and stuff. We met him last summer in Orlando. He was a keynote speaker. I got his book. I got a lot of books. I got to read this book. This was a lady we met. She wrote a book called 7 Keys to Igniting the Fire Within. It is about special needs community where she talks about taking care of her special needs child. I got other books too. I got so many books and stuff. But yeah, I love pages. Talking about get us some fries. All right, you guys. So I'm going to get off of here because I actually am hungry too. I can feel my body like craving more than just this water. If he did want anything to do with the kids, would you let him? Yeah, Shaquila, I would let him. He pay child support. I do have 100% sole custody of them, but he is responsible for still paying child support for them. If he says he wants to see them, my door is always open. I have never closed the door to him or any of my children's fathers from being in their life. I've never closed the door. I've always left that door very open. He has chosen not to be in their life. Now, the child that he had with the woman while we was married and in a relationship, they still together. He lived with her. He's in that 15-year-old child's life. Because that girl just turned 15 in December. She born December. My twins were born in March. Oh, he in that child life. His mama in that child life. His mama don't have nothing to do with my kids. He don't do nothing. But I guess what? They all loving on this girl. This little girl. And she's innocent in this. She's 100% innocent in it. And I hate that once she's 15. So at this point, honestly, she's really old enough to understand a lot. But I just hate that she's going to become an adult, or at least at some point, she's going to really understand who her father is, what he did. Like, I feel bad about it, but again, that was a choice her mom also made. Her mom made the choice to sleep with a man who was married and get pregnant by a man who was married and get infected by a man who, if she just left him alone because he was married, she wouldn't be walking around here with HIV. Yeah, that. Whew. Did you have a normal pregnancy with your last daughter? I did, but that girl put me through it, y'all. My shop closed. I don't ever want to get married again, and I'm not having no more kids. I'm not doing it. My uterus is closed. I will be 40 years old on April 22nd. Do you trust men today since you've been done wrong? I can trust. I put it this way. I can trust. I can trust again. I don't have a problem trusting anyone. My issue is, how many times am I going to have to go through trusting someone, having a relationship, building a relationship with someone, for it to just end and have to start all over again? The hardest part about being someone who's HIV positive and wanting to be loved and wanting to have a relationship with someone, whether they're also HIV positive or negative, is starting over. Because granted, I could go be with somebody who's HIV positive, but guess what? It's still going to be a relationship that could still have issues and disagreements, and we could break up. It doesn't guarantee that just because I be with somebody who's also HIV positive that we're going to live happily ever after. It don't work that way. So it's just a thing of, do I really want to deal with having to meet somebody, learn somebody, and hope that it lasts? I just ended a 2-year relationship in June because of narcissism behavior, and just really waking up and realizing that I still, even though I'm 15 years HIV positive, that I do not have to settle. I don't have to settle. People feel like when you got a disease that you got to settle with just whatever. Oh, you ought to be lucky somebody wants you. No. They ought to be lucky I want them. Hell. You know. That's how I see it. So yeah. You forgot and include beautiful and strong. Beautiful and strong. Thank you, Jose James. Love you lots. Oh, you 60 on December 29th? Okay. All right, you guys. What is my real name? My name is Renee. Do I look like a Renee? My mama said she was going to name me April, because I was born in April. I'm glad she ain't named me April. My first name is Renee. But everybody, most people, if you ever see somebody call me, there's only certain names that people can call me. There's only one person who I allow to call me by my middle name. Only one person can call me by my middle name. Most people who call me Renee, it's just because maybe they saw my first name on a book or I said it. Most of the time, my family might call me Renee, or they might call me Nene. Most people call me Nene in my family, or Nay, or Renee. A lot of people call me Bird. If you ever see somebody if they don't say Lady Bird and they just say Bird, they've known me way before my status and met me on Yahoo, AOL, MSN chat when I was all up on there in them chat rooms. Ooh, child, I used to be on AOL Messenger and Yahoo chat. All up in the African American and the black chat and the R&B and the hip hop chat rooms. So, yeah. All right, you guys. So, I am going to get off of here. And I'm so happy that you guys were able to join me tonight. I'm on here actually longer than I anticipated. Oh, gosh. An hour and 47 minutes. Jesus. Shout out to everybody again that is born in the month of January. I hope you are enjoying your birthday month. Celebrate the whole month. Listen, don't just do it for one day. Do it for the whole month. I'm celebrating the whole year. I'm 40 all year. Okay? I don't know what I'm doing when I turn 40, but I'm 40 all year. I'm going to get me some balloons. I'm going to take some pictures. I'm getting my hair did. Hold up. I don't know how I'm going to get my hair done for my birthday. I'm getting my hair done actually the day before my birthday. I don't know how I'm going to get my hair done. I don't know. I think I'm going to get the back. I think I'm going to let the back hang, and I'm going to get her to put the top up in like a crown at the top. Like, It's a way she got where she know how to work that thing and loop my locks up, and I can have me like a little crown up here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have me a crown at the top, have the back hanging down. I think I'm gonna do that for my birthday. You know, rest in my 40ness. Ooh, goodness. All right, you guys, I love you. If I have not answered your question, I'm going to go back through the comments. If your questions got filtered out, I apologize. If it got hidden, I'm going to unhide it. Sometimes questions and things get hid on my page. I'll unhide it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with me. Y'all push through ugly cries and all. But we made it to the end of this live. Thank you guys so much. Love you. And until next time, unless I have to, I probably won't be back live until next week, maybe. Unless I go live just clowning around or something, I may not be live again until next week. I need to record my podcast. If you subscribe to my page, you can watch me record my podcast live. So I do have subscriptions on my page. I record my podcast live. Like I sit here, you hear me actually recording. I do my whole editing sessions and all that stuff with my podcast. I did it last time and it was so cool. And I was like, you know what? This is something I could do exclusive for my followers and people who subscribe. Like people who subscribe to my page. That's what I'm going to do for them. Let them experience that. And I also got some merch and stuff that I'm going to be getting to give away. Not for you to buy. Like, I got some little stuff that I'm going to be doing giveaways with. Like, if anything, I just would love for you guys to purchase my books. Like, I'm going to get, like, some ink pens. I'm going to make a calendar. I said I was going to make, like, a calendar that I was going to give to people. Like, if you subscribe to my page, or if you send, like, a certain amount of stars, I'm going to send you like a calendar or a gift or something. I'm going to start doing that. So, probably Friday or one day this weekend or early next week, I'm going to order that stuff. And I'm not even going to front. Whatever monetization I get from Facebook, like you guys giving me stars or when I go live and different stuff, whatever I get, I'm putting that back into you guys. So yeah, when Facebook pay me, I'm going to get some stuff for you guys that you guys are gonna get. I'm gonna give you guys ink pens that says Lady Bird Official on it. I'm gonna have a calendar I'm gonna create. I'm probably gonna do a couple t-shirts and things. I'm gonna do stuff. Like, I'm not like a lot of these other people that get on here and have all these different things and they just, none of that. No. I'm all about making sure that you guys understand that I appreciate it all, because I don't do this for any of that. I don't do it for none of that stuff. I don't do it for no money. I don't do it for no likes, no views, no nothing. I just do it for the sole purpose. I want people to stay HIV negative, STD free. That's it. Like, that's it. That's the purpose. And here, I'm going to post the link again in case anybody missed it. I know it's pinned. Maybe if I repin it. You think if I repin it, it'll pop up? So it's pinned. When I end this live, is it Charlene? Charlie-Ann? Oh, baby, I'm going to mess your name up. But I love you. It's in the comments. Let me see if it let me repin it. It might have let me repin it. But the link is in the comments. So when I end this live, give it a few seconds. Go back to the comments. It'll be at the top of the comments. So Mamie said you should be a motivational speaker. Cleveland needs you. Girl, where you want me to come at in Cleveland? Let me know. I'm coming. I need to do that. I have not done that. That's one of the things as an educator and advocate in these 15 years, I have not done a tour. So you might be on to something, Mamie. I need to probably do that. I probably need to do it. I need to work on it. I need to find somebody to work on that with. I don't even know where to start. How do I start? I don't know. Woo. All right, you guys. Good night. Love you. Bye.